And you might be able to connect this to the amount of bullshit that Elon Musk has been spinning for the last few years about how he's going to take humanity to Mars. So he's got a history of false Mars claims. We're all going to be on Mars this year. There are going to be cities on Mars by 2030. And, you know, we're all going to be driving Cybertrucks on Mars, allegedly. Cybertrucks are going to be the vehicle of choice in the Mars city that this guy is building. Obviously, all of this is bullshit. And he's competing with Jeff Bezos, the guy who runs Amazon, for the biggest bullshit idea of the future of humanity. For Elon, it's all about Mars. For Bezos, it's floating, spinning cities in the middle of outer space. Obviously, this is ridiculous. Takes 9 months to get to Mars. Elon's rockets last about 10 minutes, if that. So, it's easy to think that this is just some of the bullshit that he's trying to sell us, like self-driving cars. But the problem goes deeper than that. When you think about Mars, you're thinking about the future of humanity, and that can lead you into sort of thinking called long-termism. You imagine that there's going to be trillions of people in the galaxy, and that the lives of those imaginary trillions of people are so much more important than the millions and billions of people we have on this planet now. Which sounds like good logic, except if this planet doesn't survive, and the people on it doesn't survive, we never get to those trillions and trillions of people. But because Musk thinks he's saving humanity by taking us to Mars, it means he can ignore and worsen all the problems we've got on Earth. It means he can dig his dirty fingers into Ukraine, switching off Starlink. It means he can exacerbate the climate crisis. It means he can send dirty rockets into space. Every single rocket releases 75,000 tons of carbon equivalent emissions, plus a bunch of soot. It means he can fill up space with more than 40,000 satellites. And why we're here today, and why we have some people braving 22-degree heat dressed as aliens, is to say that we only have one planet we can live on. And if you want to have a habitable planet, then you need to make the right choice. You need to stop supporting Elon Musk, you need to stop supporting his Mars lies, and you need to stop buying Tesla. Thank you. Okay, I'm now going to hand you to Elena from Campaign for Ukraine, who can talk about what Musk has actually been doing in Ukraine.
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Elena Ivashchenko. I'm a Ukrainian activist and founder of Campaign for Ukraine. Being a Ukrainian, I never thought that I would be standing here protesting against the millionaire billionaire in another country for interfering in a war that is not only destroying my country, but threatening the global security and the gambling with human lives. But here we are, and we cannot be silent, we must speak out. Elon Musk wants to play God with satellites, elections, the human lives, the entire nations and entire countries. Musk talks a lot about freedom, about progress, about future of the humanity, but in the reality, it's not about progress or business, it's not about free speech or human rights. It's about power without responsibility. And it's about using that power to support the worst people on this planet, to spread propaganda and lies. Let me remind you what Musk's agenda looks like in practice from the Ukrainian point of view. Musk threatened to shut down Starlink in the middle of critical Ukrainian operations, putting at risk our armed forces, our defense of the country, and people's life. He gave a platform to Trump's lies. He amplifies Trump, a man who would hand Ukraine to Putin in a second. He accused Ukrainians of hacking his platform, which is really ridiculous, and turning the internet against him, blaming every Ukrainian and the entire country that is fighting for its survival. He insulted our president Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing him of fraud. He spreads propaganda, manipulates narratives, and pretends it's neutral. But let's be clear. If you threaten Ukraine, you support a war criminal Putin and Russian aggression. If you amplify Trump, you make dangerous, toxic leadership seem normal. If you spread propaganda, you amplify lies. If you attack Zelensky and Ukraine while Ukraine is bombing, you are not helping peace. You are helping war criminals and aggressors. If you gamble with human lives and global stability, you are not a visionary. You are complicit. Musk may dream of Mars, but Earth deserves better. And we, standing here and fighting for justice and human rights, for truth and for free speech, we deserve better. And on Earth, we demand accountability. So today we say, no more Musk, no more lies and propaganda, no more tech empires fueling the war, no more billionaires playing God. And if Musk wants to leave the Earth and go to Mars, he can take Putin and Trump with him, and we will help him pack. Thank you. Slava Ukraini. And I will pass the microphone to the Chris from Ukraine Solidarity Campaign.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming today. It's very important at this point, in this moment, that we take a stand, no matter how many or how few of us come here, and that we do this on a regular basis, and that we keep up this struggle, because the moment we're in at the present time is ominous and poses a threat to all our freedom, our democracy, on a scale which has been unprecedented in recent history. The pact which has been brought about between the Musk-Putin regimes is, we say, the Trump-Musk regime and the Putin regime hasn't been seen on this planet since Molotov-Ribbentrop in 1939. It poses a threat to democracy in the USA. It poses a threat to freedom and democracy in Europe and globally. But more than anything, it's shown that it's a direct threat to the survival of the Ukrainian people. When Trump humiliated President Zelensky in the Oval Office, it set in motion a chain of events that has cost already hundreds of Ukrainian lives. They immediately stopped military aid in an effort to intimidate the Ukrainian people, followed swiftly by turning off the sharing of the satellite intelligence which was used to warn people of the air attacks by the Russians. This was then followed by the threat of Musk to turn off the entire Starlight system. By what they did, the consequences led to the Russian offensive in Kursk, which cost hundreds of Ukrainian lives. But more than that, in the cities, it resulted in Russian bombs coming through without warning. One person we helped was killed in Donbass. A rescue worker who we took aid to in November was killed by the Russians at a strike, entirely their fault because they had no advance warnings. Musk's actions aren't lost of some playboy adventurer who plays with cars and profits. He's a dangerous threat to humanity, a dangerous threat to freedom and democracy. He needs to be stopped. This is an unaccountable oligarch whose only ambition is power and profit, sacking workers indiscriminately, threatening democracy with lies, propaganda, and direct assistance to a fascist regime in Russia. What they aim to do there, they would do elsewhere. You heard what Musk said in the German elections. He explicitly called for a vote for Nazis. In this country, he aligns himself with Robinson and other neo-Nazis. These people don't hide what they're intending to bring about. And the only thing that can stop them is us and our alliance together in solidarity. And on the front line is Ukraine. And there is a direct connection between the profit margins of this company and the fate of freedom and democracy in Ukraine. the more we raise awareness, the more we take action against Musk, the more we help the Ukrainian people, the more we raise awareness. So what we are doing is direct solidarity, direct resistance, and we cannot let it cease for one moment. If we do, our freedom and democracy will fall, their freedom and democracy will fall. Their struggle is our struggle, and we say never again. Slava Ukraini!